The San Francisco 49ers have been well known for their boombox entrances over the years. It's become a tradition that players and fans alike have come to really love and look forward to. But what if I were to tell you that there was another famous boombox that's related to the 49ers, but has nothing to do with their entrance? Instead, it has to do with an actual boombox that was used on the field during a portion of the NFL 1980 season. Enter 49ers quarterback Steve DeBerg.
And the guy he's filling it around is quarterback Steve DeBerg. No stranger to you, Roger. Steve was in the Dallas training camp a few years ago, and he's an excellent quarterback. He's improved under Bill Walsh a great deal the last couple of years, and he's got command of the team. He's got a good arm. He throws a tight squirrel. It's easy to catch, and he's coming into this season looking for a big year. We're ready now for the opening kickoff here at the Superdome in New Orleans, the 1980 National Football League season.
The depth pool on the quarterback front wasn't great, with the eventual legendary NFL quarterback Joe Montana coming off a rookie season with the team in 1979. Montana was selected third overall in the 1979 NFL Draft and was seen as the future of the franchise. And so DeBerg was the tried and tested quarterback that the San Francisco 49ers would rely on until Montana was ready to have the torch passed on to him. Now, DeBerg started that 1980 season playing 9 of the first 12 games, with Montana playing the other 3 before eventually taking over the team completely late into the season. But it's those first 3 games that live on as one of the strangest pieces of NFL history to date.
We got a real problem here this afternoon. The quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers, Steve DeBerg, has laryngitis and cannot speak very well. Why don't you explain what they're going to do to rectify that problem?
Well, what we have is some space-age football going on.
You see, DeBerg came down with a bad case of laryngitis that came about after an August 16th preseason injury. DeBerg would take a nasty hit to the throat after being pancaked between 2 Chargers linemen during a play, leaving him sore and with a weakened voice. Now, his recovery was promising, and a full return with his voice intact was expected for the beginning of the season. But just before the 49ers would start their season, DeBerg would lose his voice. Now, it's unclear what exactly happened, but local San Francisco papers at the time stated that DeBerg's laryngitis came about after spending a couple of days in an air-conditioned hotel room while in New Orleans. This left the quarterback without the ability to speak above a raspy whisper on the field, as his vocal cords could no longer vibrate enough. Now, as you can imagine, this is a real problem as a quarterback who needs to be vocal in the huddle and during the snap, so the rest of the team would know what was going on. Now, prior to the first game of the season, DeBerg's doctor had explained to him that the only real way to recover his voice would be to at least take a month off and limit his speaking as much as possible. Of course, this was a no-go for DeBerg, who was not only leading the 49ers that year, but also fighting to keep his spot as starting quarterback against the rising star in Joe Montana, who was by then chomping at the bit to take over. And so DeBerg famously told his doctors, quote, "I'm an NFL quarterback. I have to yell over 75,000 fans. I can't not talk." So, in a move that would surprise everyone, DeBerg had a plan after addressing his teammates with the use of a megaphone during one practice. Being in Silicon Valley, DeBerg and members of the team reached out to a number of electronics firms to see if they could come up with something. The team settled on Audio Works, a local company that specialized in audio equipment and design. Now, Audio Works quickly whipped up a $700 system for the quarterback. Now, this system which apparently didn't violate any NFL rules at the time, included a microphone in DeBerg's helmet that was connected to a speaker system attached to the back of his shoulder pads. This system was powered by 4 9-volt batteries, and these batteries had to be replaced at halftime due to the power consumption needed to make the speakers loud enough. This custom system was also tuned to the frequency of the human voice, so that any other noise and sounds wouldn't be picked up by DeBerg's mic when activated. The entire rig was supported by rubber, and all of the speaker equipment was sealed with a custom caulking to support the unit during play and sacks. Now this gave DeBerg a unique appearance on the field, with CBS announcer Vin Scully famously stating that DeBerg appeared like, quote, the Hunchback of Notre Dame, during the 49ers' Week 4 loss to the Falcons. One of DeBerg's teammates, Randy Cross, said of the boombox that, quote, it was sort of the definition of improvisation. Now what was surprising in all of this was that the 49ers actually found that they had an edge when DeBerg was using his speaker system. You see, this 10-watt system was powerful and loud. In fact, it was louder than any car stereo at the time on maximum volume. It also allowed DeBerg to project his voice upwards of 40 yards in ideal conditions. DeBerg himself said of this device, quote, I'd get in there and start calling a play, and I think the whole stadium could hear me. It probably wasn't fair, but the NFL okayed it. But in reality, this system was the beginning of the end for DeBerg in San Francisco, as Joe Montana would take over the starting spot later in the season. The 49ers even used Montana once during the time that DeBerg was using his speaker system. In a game against the Jets, in a notoriously loud stadium, DeBerg, during a play, rushed off the field, his helmet off, pointing at it as if to suggest that the system wasn't working. Montana would be subbed in for that play and run a specially designed route that would take advantage of his mobility. Now that worked, and Montana would score a touchdown, leaving DeBerg seeing the writing on the wall. But this wasn't quite the end for DeBerg or his custom boombox backpack. You see, the following year, DeBerg would be traded to the Denver Broncos, and in one of the following seasons, he would face a similar throat injury that left his voice once again weakened. So, to help DeBerg out, the 49ers mailed him his speaker system over to Denver ahead of their game with the Steelers. And just like in San Francisco, it worked as well there as it did in Denver, with DeBerg replacing a then rookie and yet another future legendary NFL quarterback in John Elway, who was suffering from a bruised shoulder.
I recall out signals because of a voice problem. DeBerg executed a perfect fake to number 34, Nathan Poole, then found tight end Ron Egloff, number 85, all alone for the winning score.
Now, over the years, DeBerg's famous loudspeaker backpack would become not only lost to time, but lost itself. DeBerg said of his backpack boombox, quote, I wish I knew where that thing ended up. It was great. It gave me a voice. Thanks for watching this episode. If you like what you saw here, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. The best thing you can do to support this channel. And remember to hit the notification bell for future updates as we try to bring you at least one video a month here on the channel. And hopefully more as we continue to grow. Until next time, stay safe out there, and we'll see you again in the next video.